Dear Pixie, you asked us, must a question be asked before it is answered? A question does not need to be asked before it is answered within the multidimensional aspect of the human self or body-mind. In a linear sense, in your third dimensional reality, this occurs as the brain processes realizations, information, and knowledge within a question and answer sequential format. Within non-linear simultaneous time, through that or within multidimensionality, then the question and answer or question and aligned response are simultaneous. Through the meaningful subjective experience, the answer can be perceived and experienced as being presented prior to the question being asked. This is the multidimensional journey, and hence this is the holistic aspect of that which we refer to as the Great Grand Quest. You asked us, why cannot God simply give us the answers and liberate us from darkness? This that you refer to as God giving you the answers indeed occurs. Yet there are those who block themselves from this process, if you will, or do not recognize it. However, the perception of discovery of the answers oneself within one's journey creates the epiphany and realization of the unity of all things, including that which you refer to as God. The liberation of darkness then occurs through the journey of the self into the self. For when one perceives oneself to be separate from the all that is, and thus God, then one cannot be, as you put it, liberated. You asked us, is it possible to travel back in time to the phase before the fallen ones fell? Within that which you may know as Merkaba travel, mental time travel, or astral projection through the dream time, indeed this is most possible. Regarding the actual physical travel within body, this is possible through certain reincarnation lines of intentional focus if the intention is aligned with the divine cosmic order. This is not possible in physical form currently within your reality, remaining within your current physical body through technology in the way you present your quest at this time. We will therefore continue to respond to your questions with the first option as the focus for the responses. You asked us, can we communicate with the fallen ones? If permissions and etiquettes are in place, then this would be a possibility. However, this action is most rare, if you will, for a service to others individual to undertake. Intentional focus must be in alignment with the divine cosmic order. You asked us, is it possible to connect with the fallen at an earlier stage when they were not so infected with hate, aggression, need for control, and revenge? You hold an assumption here that those you refer to as fallen are infected with such that you speak of. this is not necessarily the case. One also needs to have a discourse with one's guidance system or spiritual mentor, or move through an epiphany thought process as to whom exactly the fallen are before proceeding with this response. For one could say that all those who exist within the third dimension are fallen. And indeed, one could say all who exist within the third dimension are, or have been, or could be infected with that which you speak of. However, we can continue in responding to your quest within the framework of the fallen, meaning the service to self factions. It is not the dark magicians who are infected with that which you speak of, for they utilize the negative emotional stream within control protocols, which presents as strategic and focused without emotion, rather than that which you present. The control protocols are ultimately control of self rather than other, yet control of all selves, which includes other, moves into the process of that. Those which are within the lower streams of the service to self factions may indeed hold the emotional states you speak of, but these are not the Dark Masters. The predominant emotion for these individuals is fear, and the derivatives that come from fear. Communicating with these individuals prior to their fall would be, from our perspective, communicating with oneself, for the fall occurred prior to the epoch you currently experience or exist within. This is that which you do naturally within the organic existence that is you and all that you are. The solution or resolution of these communications is the path that you walk, and the creation of you as yourself within an integrated starseed existence. The comprehension of that which we present is to be found within the conceptual understanding of unity and the unified field consciousness that encompasses all and everything. Within the more linear sense of bifurcated positive and negative frequency as consciousness, there is no prior to the fall to discover. There are no individual pre-fallen individual souls to communicate with, for there was no individualization or polarity prior to the fall. The aligned response to your quest is therefore yes, with caveats, due to the fact that the response is not as the expectation within the questioner's mind at the time of asking the question. You asked us, can we communicate with juiced souls once they transition? Can we still tap into their soul memory imprint in order to communicate with them? Within the morphogenetic field, there is no time. Everything is as a oneness or unity. All memory imprints are available for the clairvoyant or psychic one to connect with. The journey of regenesis is specific to the individual soul's experience, not necessarily the experience of the other or the loved one or the clairvoyant communicator. It may indeed be that a particular psychic individual or clairvoyant cannot make contact or have the feeling that the one they are trying to connect with has disappeared from the field, if you will. This is the individualized perspective in a linear sense of that soul and their journey. One can return to an earlier point in that individual's timeline prior to juice partaking in order to communicate. The experience is individual. Some clairvoyants may see the morphogenetic unified field consciousness in a quantum sense, with multiple aspects of the one individual they are looking to contact. Often, especially in the case of a soul passing with that which you call dementia, the clairvoyant will contact two aspects of that soul, one pre-dementia and one with dementia. This can therefore be utilized as a communication tool from the perspective of the clairvoyant to discover the pre-juiced soul. This is all individualized perspective and reading of imprinted data within the morphogenetic memory field or unified field consciousness at quantum and compartmentalized levels. The experience of such communication is therefore most subjective and matches the perspective, thought process, and expansion of the communicator. The journey of the soul is a different perspective. There are moments when the transitioned soul and the incarnated soul, still in physicality, within two different points of perspective, align across space and time. This is true soul-to-soul contact, if you will, and is most rare indeed. The majority of spirit connections are the clairvoyant reading memory imprints within the unified consciousness field at a projected, compartmentalized level. This is one point of perspective reading imprinted memory data. This is still a soul. It is just that within one stream of simultaneous time, the communication is one way, if you will. It is as if the clairvoyant plays a recording. Within simultaneous time, one stream may open across time that join two points of perspective together in one point. This is Stargate communication, if you will, and moves beyond the usual spirit communication. This is into 6th and 7th dimensional fields when looking at this presentation in a dimensional sense. We have but scratched the surface, as you may say in your earthly language, with this concept. But suffice it to say, it is most complex for the 3rd dimensional mind to comprehend. At that which you know as 4th dimensional communication, then yes, in response to your question, the transitioned soul can be communicated with. However, due to hijacking and certain, let us say, broadcast signals emanating from the individualized imprint of the juiced soul's memory fields, the experience the 4th dimensional clairvoyant undergoes will potentially be different, new and unique to usual methods of working with spirit communication. This includes the perception of not being able to access that spirit at all. This is where the confusion lies within juiced transitioned soul's communication. The perspectives and subjective experiences of the medium have changed due to a different, more artificial broadcast system. However, in the grander scheme of reality, the aligned response, or indeed answer to your quest, is yes, with caveats. For subjective experience at fourth dimensional level may indeed present the response to this quest as no. Only above the fourth dimensional realm and into the simultaneous time matrix of Stargate travel, Stargate ascension, Stargate communication, and Stargate consciousness will the response to your quest, and thus your subjective experience of the communication itself, be a resounding yes, and a beautiful reunion of hearts, souls, and minds of loved ones. From this place and space, at the point of Stargate ascension consciousness, all those who have transitioned shall be communicated with. They shall be known. And within the context of your new epoch, your new earth, all transitioned souls shall return. We are the white-winged collective consciousness of 9. I am just so happy to be able to announce to you that my new book is available. The Diamond Codex and the Quartz Key, accessing the accelerated Stargate system through crystalline transformation of the genetic code. What does it mean to transmute one's DNA from carbon-based to crystalline within the context of spiritual enlightenment and physiological evolution? Practical templates for photonic light gene expression, alchemical unification, and light body activation are provided within this channeled transmission, delivering this codex at a time within humanity's awakening and expansion when synchronicity is abundant. The mysteries of the accelerated Stargate system as an intelligent living infinity structure call the starseeds of Earth to remember why they are incarnated here and what they came here to do. The downloads, epiphanies, and realizations that will organically come to each starseed as they immerse themselves within this sacred text are catalysts for those memories. Introducing Dreamwalker, the story, presented through my interdimensional dialogue with the monadic light structure that is the white-winged collective consciousness of 9. This book has been such an absolute delight and joy to transcribe from the 9, and I truly hope you enjoy reading it. Available in paperback, hardcover, and Kindle.